This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all. So welcome to performance testing with JMeter, core to master level with Bean Cell, scripting JMeter Pro certification and real life application scripting. So first we'll have a small walkthrough of performance testing. Then we'll discuss the syllabus. Right, that will be the today agenda. So we know that there is a software development, right, and then we have software development lifecycle. Software development models like two famous model are waterfall and agile scrum. So on same line, if software development is there, so we have software testing, and we have software testing lifecycle. Then in that we have types of software testing. So there are two types, okay, functional testing and non-functional testing. So difference between functional testing and non-functional testing is uh, in functional testing we check the functionality of the system. Now what we mean by that, we'll see. And in non-functional testing, we do not check the functionality, we check the backend behavior. Okay, backend behavior. So in that, two main are there. One is performance testing and one is security testing. So performance testing is actually non-functional testing. Okay. So what is the basic difference between functional and non-functional? So let us say a car is designed and developed and ready to be used. So if we test the each parts of that car, okay, module wise, single thing, so that will be functionality. Now when whole car is designed and then we check the performance, like how much mileage it's giving. Let us say if 8 people are sitting, if all 8 people are sitting, how is the performance, how is the, when it is in high speed, how the brake is applied, any um, it's giving any throttling or what, right? If luggages are there, so how it's behaving, how much speed it's going in 1 minute, how fast it's picking the speed, right? Like these things. So here we, in performance testing, we see once the product is developed, we see its working behavior. Okay, here we check its single functionality, whether the alloys or the wheels are aligned properly or not, right? Their screws are tight or not, steering wheel is working fine or not, power. So single thing. So that is functional. Here overall, when the car is fully ready and you have tested each part, then we run it and we test it, because that is the main purpose, right? Running. So in simple language, let us say there is a login module. So this is a login of our Gmail, right? Now functionality wise, if you have to test the login module, you can say, or the login page of this application, so we'll try to we'll write a test case. And in that test case, what will be the possible test cases, like whether it is taking correct credential or not. If we are providing incorrect credential, what is happening, right? Email format should be particularly in the email format, like add should be there, .com should be there, right? uh, if incorrect email format is provided, it should not accept, it should throw some error message. Password should be of certain length, some certain character, right? Properly logging is happening or not. If we try to log in, it should not take any unregistered password, like this type. We prepare a test cases and we test it single approach, so single test cases, right? So that is what functionality wise testing, that login module. Okay. Now on the same thing, yeah, so functionality wise testing, right? If suppose login is not correct, what is the toaster message, the error message? Error message are also known as toaster message, what is it throwing? So these are all functionality wise testing the that login module. Now performance wise, so this will be known as functional. Okay, that is what functional testing, we are testing the function. Now on the same line, how fast that application is logging in. So so that become the functional testing that I told. Now in non-functional testing, we do not bother, we do not write that much test cases. We just log in as a real user. Okay, and we just check how fast uh, it is getting logged in. So that is what performance testing. Okay, now on the same line, let us say when a customer places an order, okay, then he should get a correct order with correct order number and order item. So these parts will be the part of functional testing. Now, whether he is getting that order placed in within 1 to 2 seconds or 2 to 3 seconds, that will be the performance testing. Right. So in performance testing, we do not see the functionality. We see the backend part. That's why they are known as non-functional testing. Another is security testing. That is a totally separate domain. In security testing, we check how protective or how robust our system is in terms of security, so that it cannot be hacked, or hackers should not be able to crack this login and other thing, right? So since it doesn't bother about the functionality, they bother some different aspects. So they are known as non-functional testing. And in that, these are the two major non-functional testing, like performance and security, right? Now, functional testing are done using two ways. One is manual and automation. Automation tools like Selenium, HP, UFT, APM, etc. Non-functional testing, they have performance testing and security testing. So few performance testing tools in market to do the performance testing will be Load Runner, Storm Runner, Load Runner Cloud, Silk Performer, right? New Load, IBM RPT, WAPT, VSTS, OATS, Gatling, JMeter. In this, Load Runner, it's a commercial but highly featured tool. Okay, Load Runner is a commercial but highly featured tool for doing the performance testing, but it's a very costly, and its organization name is Micro Focus. JMeter, okay, that we are going to learn is the open source tool, and there is no open source tool in the market to challenge it. Means in terms of open source, there is no open source tool. So all the list of tools that we see here, Load Runner, Stormrunner, New Load, IBM, all these things, all are paid actually. Right? At certain point, all are paid. So only JMeter is the tool which is open source. Open source means free, you can say. Okay, normal definition or understandable definition of open source means free to use. Commercial means license will be needed. We have to purchase them. Okay, they are cost. And there is no such open source tool in the market to challenge the JMeter. Okay. So this is what performance testing and the JMeter, and this is what we are going to learn. Performance testing with JMeter, right? And this syllabus will be core to master level, means you can say core to advanced level also, basic to advanced level. Some security tools are like for example purpose, like Metasploit, Burstwood, SQL Maps, SonarQube, etc. Now, two keywords in performance and security. So in functional testing, if any deviation from requirement is there, or if we find any issue while we do the testing, if we find any issue, or if there is any deviation from the requirement, we call them as defect or bug, right, in functional testing. But in non-functional testing, in performance testing, that deviation or the requirement deviation or any issue is known as bottlenecks. Okay, there is a special term called bottlenecks. And in security testing, that is known as vulnerabilities, right? That defect or those issues are known as vulnerabilities. Now, why to do the performance testing, or what is the need of performance testing? So to save the loss of revenue, loss of customer, loss of productivity, to save the damage of your brand, because bad performance of the application is bad for business. For an example, let us say you are going to book a ticket, right? And whole booking of the ticket process is taking more than 5 minutes. So we will not be happy, right? In the same way, let us say today world is the world of competition. Now, if Amazon website is slow, slow means what? Slow when we are slow in the sense of when we use it, right? Users use it. So we browse the product pages, we browse the product, we want to book any item. So all those things, right? All those activity that we do, if that is slow, if that is not fast, we will not be happy. And then we will move, right? Customer will move to some other same competitor platforms. Okay. So that's why performance testing is a need, so that we can make our application robust, so that customers should be happy, right? And my business will grow. So few of the few of the symptoms which tells that application performance is poor, it's not very good. So what could be the symptoms will be like it is slow to respond while we browse. When we browse, the pages will be stucking somewhere. Okay. Internal server error 500 error occurs. Server is down. Server not found. Gateway timeout error. Service temporarily unavailable. So hope you people might have faced any of these symptoms in your life till now for any of the website, right? So these are the symptoms for slowness of any application or poor application. Now few real-time examples. Okay, so these are few real-time examples. You can read this. We'll just discuss one. Let us say this happened in India. So how the things can impact. So let us say Flipkart was the only company. Okay, it's like Amazon.com, but Flipkart is for India. Amazon is for worldwide. So Flipkart is the only company which started Big Billion Day sale in India. Big Billion Day sale means we call that as a Big Friday, a Black Friday. Black Friday sale in other countries, in USA and other countries. So on that day sale will happen, right? On discounted sale, what that we say, huge discounts will be given. So uh, they were the first to host to introduce this Big Billion Day sale in the India, and that was in October 2014. Now what happened? They suppose that on that day, maybe 5 to 10 lakhs people will be there, will be coming, right? Not more than that people will be coming to purchase the products on their website. So they made their system as thinking 5 to 10 lakhs people will be there. But what happened? Their strategy or the advertisement was wrong, you can say. So in the local newspaper and everywhere, they have advertised that we are selling very good products, even a mobile or a good trimmer, Philips trimmer, all these thing in how much, right? In rupee one, in 1 rupee only. This was first thing they did in the history of e-commerce in India. 1 rupee only they were selling all these things. Even a good Micromax mobile, good Philips streamer was sold in 1 rupee. So they advertise in local newspaper. Now, so local newspaper and everywhere they advertise this, and they think only 5 to 10 lakh people will come. But out of sudden, since this very demanding price they have kept, so more than 10 lakh people arrived. Okay, more 15 to 20 lakh people arrived, more than expectation. So because of that, what happened, since the system was not ready for that, extra such huge load came, so their system went down on that sale, on the day of sale. Okay, so here you can see they are apologizing, right? The news is there. I have kept the link for mega sale glitches, right? So in the same way, uh, Amazon also crashed in this 2013 for 30 minutes. That resulted in loss of this much per second for the Amazon. So this is how, if performance will be poor, loss can happen. Okay. Now, what is performance testing, definition wise? So performance testing, definition wise, is basically putting the user load on the application, right, on an application, and testing its behavior generally in terms of response time, number of users supported, and some other factors. So that's what I said. That, let us say, login module will be there. Now we'll put the user load, and we will check its response time, how fast it's logging in, and how much number of user it can support, and some other factors. Now, what is this response time and user load, right? So for that same login module, let us say this login module. Now we'll in functional testing, that is in performance testing, we do not bother functionality, right? We do not bother all the test cases of the functional. We just do a login, and we'll just hit the login button, and we'll check in how fast it's happening. Generally 1 to 3 seconds are known as good response time. Okay, 3 seconds is also very high. For logging in, generally 1 to 2 seconds is known as a good response time, right? So in when 1 to 2 seconds, whether it is happening or not, or how much it is taking, then we put the user load. User load means what is the expected user on the application? Let us say on the Flipkart or the Amazon, every day or every hour, some 1 lakh minimum people will be there, right, browsing or doing some activity. 1 lakh is a very less. So in the same way, how much user will be there on that system, how much user will be using that system, that is known as user load. Okay, user load, or users also we say, how many users will be using that system. So doing or taking an idea of that, we put that user load, let us say 1000 or 10,000. 10,000 will be doing the login, or 1000 will be doing the login, we know, or per hour, every hour, or per day, like that. So for 10,000 user load, we'll put on this login, and then we do the login for all 10,000 users, right? And then we check the response time, how much it's taking for 10,000, or how much it's taking for 5,000, how much taking for 1,000 users. So that is what we do. And in that, how much user load application can support, how much user load means how much maximum user load the application can support. Before that, it's going slow, right? More user on the system, more load on the applications. So what is the main objective of performance testing? So there are four main objectives: speed, stability, scalability, and reliability. In the speed, that's what we discussed. Generally, we check how fast the system is, right, in responding. Correct. In stability, what we say, that application should not break for a prolonged use or a very long time. It means that nowadays applications are available, right, 24 by 7, 365 days. So it should not down. It should not go down if you are using it for longer time or longer duration. That we test in the stability objective. Then scalability. Scalability means the same example of the Flipkart. Let us say we have prepared our system for 5 to 10 lakh users, and out of sudden some extra users are coming, extra few lakhs users are coming. So system should be able to scale itself. Scale means it should able to increase its capacity to handle those 5 lakh extra user also. It should not go slow. There should be not any degradation in the performance, and it should be able to handle the extra increasing load. So that is tested in scalability. Reliability. Okay. In reliability, we validate whether the application is serving the customers with means for a higher uh, duration, right, or long duration with higher traffic, and it's not serving any wrong response. A wrong response means what? Let us say if you open two browser, okay, let us say you open two browser. Here you open in one browser you open Flipkart, and again in another browser also you open Flipkart, right, in both, right, in the same system. Now in here you search for Nike shoe, and here you search for Adidas shoe. So it will never happen that result will mismatch. Adidas result will come here and Nike result will go here. It never happens, right? Same way, let us say we book tickets in train. So this never happens that train will give you a wrong ticket, or a wrong seat will be booked, or wrong train will be booked, wrong destination will be booked. So that is comes under reliability. In that we check whether systems is not giving any wrong response or what. Okay, we check for whether it should give a correct response for the activity the user is doing. So same purpose of performance testing, same thing. Now we'll see what is the need of performance testing tools. Okay, so let us say we have to test the performance of an application. Performance means the same performance means in very general word, let us say one application is there. For an example, take Flipkart or Swiggy or anything, right? Or Amazon.com. And we know that every day 10,000 users will be there on that system. So for each 10, for every 10,000 user on the system means daily 10,000 users are there using it, or every hour 10,000 users are there using it. All flow, whatever they do, it should there should be no slowness. Okay, there should be no slowness. Response time should be good. Application should be reliable means it should give the correct response time. It should not go down if it's being used for 24 by 7 365 bit days. So all these things are uh, what performance testing, right? So let us say we want to do the performance testing of an application. Let us say we develop an application. Application name is XYZ something, and so manually also we can do. Let us say we initially wanted to test it for 1000 users. If I put 1000 users, or if 1000 users are using that application, how is the behavior, whether it is slow or not? If it is slow, how much slow? If it is fast, how much fast? What is the response time coming, right? So manual approach is that we can bring 1000 systems, 1000 system here, and we can make 1000 people sit on each system, and we can say that okay, start browsing the application at same time, and then you can monitor whether it is going slow, how much slow it is going. So that is what manual approach. But this is not the realistic approach, right? Who will bring 1000 system? Or let us say today I have to test for 1000, tomorrow I have to test for 10,000 users. Means or after some time I have to, some days I have to test for 10,000 users. So do I bring 10,000 system and do I bring 10,000 people? No, not realistic. Wise, it's not possible, right? So that's why we bring the tools, performance testing tools, right? That is what tools. Now it's like same thing. We have manual testing and automation testing, manual and automation. In manual, what we do, we test that same functionality of the application manually, right? And we write the test cases in Excel. We write our result. But to save the time and to because this testing activity is always done whenever a product is there, it's always done. So few scenarios we automate that. That is what automation. So functionality testing only, we automate that. We write some code using Selenium, Java, Selenium, Python, right? So that we can execute that code, those scripts or code when required, and we can save our time on that human part, right? That's why the automation comes in picture. Otherwise, manual testing are always there. First, we do manual testing only, and then we prepare the scripts for few scenario, which is common we think, and we have to always execute. and we execute that using automation like Java, Selenium, Java, Python, this kind of technology we use. So same thing here. Manually, we cannot bring 100,000 system, 1,000 people. So we bring the performance testing tools, right? Like load energy emitter, that what new load, IBM RPT, that we discuss. So a performance testing tool does what? They simulates a real user behavior. Means what a real user is doing, they simulate that, like browsing the page, logging in, submitting an order, etc. And then they, in this way, they generated desired user load on the server, who the testing tools, right? So they simulate the real user behavior, and then they generate the desired user load on the server. In that, what they do, they send the request in the same manner as the real user does and receive the response from the server. Okay, and this way the tools calculate the response time from the server to send that request and receive the response, along with some other performance matrices. Okay, so in other way we can say performance testing tools are actually load generating tools, and they simulate the real user behavior who are using the application. So instead of using the real user, what we do, we bring the tool and we make the tool behave as a real user and put the load on the server, right? Send the request, bring the response, and calculate the response time. What is this request and response means? Let us say one website. So suppose I'll try to open Flipkart. So when I'm sending this URL in our address bar, so that is known as request. Okay, request to the Flipkart website, request. And in the response of my request, Flipkart send me this page. So this is known as response. Response. So this is what a real user does on any website, right? Any application on any website, right? Any real user does. So same thing will be done by tool. Tool will bring the scenarios and will script using the tool, and this tool will do the activity like our real user. They will send the request, they will bring the response, and how much time it took for this purpose, so that will be calculated along with some other performance matrices also. Okay, and other feature of tool, like we can generate n number of loads, because 1,000 if we want we can do 1,000, 2,000 if we want we can generate 2,000, right? We do not have to bring real humans, real system. Tools will do that. Now real user means the real user using the system. Okay, and the users, uh, virtual users actually, the users generated by those performance testing tools are known as V users. Okay, virtual users. A technical term is virtual users. So what a performance testing tool do? So they simulate the real user behavior simulation in the form of scripting. Then they put the load on the system in terms of virtual users, and then they get the statics. Statics means the results. Okay, performance results. So these three things a performance testing tool does. Now, when the performance testing should be done? Now, today environment is a agile environment. Okay, so everything is done parallelly. Earlier what used to happen, whole application was used to be developed and then it goes to the testing, right? Like that. So it was taking more time. Now that was known as waterfall model. Now today is agile environment. In agile environment, what happened, every single module of the application will be designed, and at the parallelly it will go for the software testing. It means that, let us say one application is there, this is the application, right? So today developer design this first page for an example. Then this first page will parallelly go for a testing, and then in the meanwhile developer will be working on the next next module of this application, right? They will be working on the menu or next menu or this menu, like that, parallel. And they will be integrating once, let us say, front page design, then let us say they are working on login. Once login code is they have written, then they will integrate this with the system, right? And that will also go in the testing. Then after that they will work on this tab, after that this tab, like that. Okay, so module means one single functionality that we know call as a module. Okay, functionality. So login page or login behavior, um, okay, login part is one module. It's the same way, many things, there can be many module on whole system. So like that, when each module is designed parallelly, it goes for the testing, right? That is agile environment. And once it's successfully tested, then that will be integrated to the system. Okay, so after a module is developed, it goes for testing, where functional testing, manual or automation is started. Now performance testing will be done after one round of functional testing is completed, and functional team finds their testing okay enough with no critical or severe bugs. So let us say one login module has been designed, so it will go for testing. And once the functional team find that there is no such critical or severe bug, after that you can do the performance testing uh, for that module. Okay, generally many people do what, many people means in many organization they do in the last also, which is not a good thing. From the beginning only you should keep on doing the performance testing, but many organization will do what in the last. In the last means when almost every part of the application is ready, then they will go for the performance testing. Okay, many people do like that. So but this is the good approach. Now few phases in while using performance testing tool will be like scenario identification, then a script recording, a script enhancement, putting the load and execution. Now why to learn JMeter? Okay, so JMeter is the only pure open source performance testing tool currently. Pure means few people say that Gatling is one name of the tool, right? Few people say this is open source. No, it's not purely open source. At certain point we have to buy the license. So currently JMeter is the only pure open source tool. Pure means, why pure means, there is no such limitation. Open source means free, so never you have to contact anyone. It's free to use, right? No license needed. It's a very light and use tool, one very small tool, only 125 MB of file. It's just download and use tool, right? Installation is not required. It can be integrated with many other tools like Jenkins, Maven, InfluxDB, App Dynamics, Grafana, Dynatrace. Market trend for JMeter tool is increasing. Right? Job for JMeter trend person is increasing. IT is moving towards full stack QA. Full stack QA means people are expecting that you should know manual, right? Concepts of manual. You should know one automation, right? Automation you can, and one performance tool. And in performance, which tool generally? JMeter, because it's only the open source, right? So this all combination of manual, automation, and performance, a person who is having this in his resume or in his as his qualities, so that will be known as full stack QA. So demand is high for a full stack QA in the market. It's good for developers also to test their code. They can also test their code themselves also if they learn the JMeter. Right? So these are the why we should learn JMeter. Then other capabilities are also there, in which JMeter is fully capable, that are web application. So what is web application? Any application that we use through a browser. Okay, any application, most of the all application we use through the browser only. 90% application are like that. So any application we use through a browser is known as web application. So fully capable of testing the web application. Then file upload and download. Okay, FTP servers. FTP servers are dedicated servers for downloading and uploading of file. Like let us say we have Dropbox or we have Google Drive. Then SMTP servers. Right? SMTP servers are those servers who are dedicatedly designed for email sending. Let us say our Gmail, right? Then web services, right? Web services, REST API testing, right? So REST API, SOAP API, we can do load and validation testing both in JMeter. Then DB queries, okay. So DB queries testing are done by big companies like Flipkart, Amazon, where you see very high data are involved, very huge data are involved. Data means, let us say, if you just try to search a laptop here, you will get 50,000 search result, right? 50K search result. So this is these application are moreover data driven. If you try to search a mobile, you will get to 50,000 search results. So many data are there in this system, right? So those systems generally do the DB queries testing. Okay. So that also can be done in JMeter. Then page load testing, integration of JMeter and Selenium WebDriver. So what is this page load testing? We'll see ahead, right? Not now. Then Android apps, mobile apps can also be tested using JMeter. So these are the capabilities in terms of performance test. Now come to the key highlights of this course. Okay. So we'll be working on one real-time live application, and we have another one more live application for practice also. I'll show you both. Uh, so two application we are giving in real time, right? So what are those applications? I'll show you. One will be the JPET store. On this we'll be working and doing our sessions, right? And another application is our isatrainingsolution.com. You can see here. This application you can use for practice also. So both you can use, the JPET store and this one, right? This is developed by ISA only. You can use for practice. Okay. Then so this will be the main part. We'll be using. We have two application. JPET store will be using in session, and for your practice you can use both. Okay, on both. It's free to use in the same uh, course syllabus. Then we'll discuss core concept of performance testing. We'll see JMeter with its best practices for recording, scripting, enhancement, execution, HTML report generation, test suite preparation, and other things. What scenarios will prepare the HTTP protocol testing? That is what web application testing, file download upload for HTTP application, and file download upload for FTP servers. Web services, REST and SOAP API testing. We'll see database testing, how to do DB queries. Then Selenium WebDriver for page load testing, how to do that. These all will be there. Then JMeter functions, right? 30 to 40 functions are there. We'll cover that. Then JMeter and Bean Shell with Java with real-time use cases. So sometime we have to write some code. So we'll see a few real-time use cases and how we can implement Java in writing those codes. That is what known as Bean Shell. Then we'll discuss JMeter and distributed testing. That is master and slave concept. Okay. Use of Puffmon for server monitoring. JMeter integration with the Jenkins, a detailed session, right? And then JMeter and InfluxDB and Grafana integration. It's a visualization tool. So it will, if you are new, then it will be all new to you. But once we start, you'll get to know. Then JMeter and Terrace. Okay. Uh, Having a good idea of JMeter directory, properties, file, and folder, right? Means when we download the JMeter, it has some properties file, some folder, some directory file. So we'll discuss about that. Then JMeter elements and sub elements. So there are around 60 elements, 50 to 60 elements in JMeter. Okay. So we'll discuss about them each one. So I'll again come here. Then a scoping rule is there and execution precedency is there, which is a very important rule to work on the JMeter. We'll have session on that. Then end-to-end scripting. End-to-end scripting means creating will be creating the end-to-end scripting for 2 scenarios for that JPEG storage application, right? And we'll see with all the best practices what we do, how we do correlation, parameterization, use of regular expression and extractor with different use cases. Okay, test execution and HTML report generation, test suite preparation and its execution. Blaze meter, another it's actually one company you can say. We'll talk about that. It's required. I'll be teaching JMeter from load runner perspective, right? How the things are done in load runner, how those are done in JMeter. Then JMeter intro and pro certification by Blaze meter. Okay, use of latest version of JMeter will be there. Current version going on is 5.4. 5.4 we'll be using that. So this is an overall syllabus. Then about me, my name is Vallabh Kumar. Okay, and I have a 7+ years of experience in JMeter, load runner, new load, selenium. I currently am working in Bangalore. I have done projects on e-commerce, in education, banking and insurance. I write article on Profmetrics. Profmetrics is a blog, dedicated website you can say, or blog website on performance testing. I'm associated with the ESA training solution as a trainer. Okay. What will be the benefits of this course? So real-time examples, JMeter Pro certification, training session will be carried online. Each day recorded video will be given, right, with lifetime access via YouTube. Means each day session will be provided to you, the recorded videos with lifetime access via YouTube. You can attend free any future batch for free in case you are unable to complete the current batch. Okay, real-time application scripting recorded video. Not one, actually we have two. One will be using, another you can practice. So two are there. Two application we have in real time. You can crack or so interview up to 2 to 3 years of experience. I guarantee that. Okay, easily you can click up to 2 to 3 years of experience. Notes, document, JMeter scripts, reports, template, all will be provided. Who can enroll for this course? So anyone who want to learn JMeter from basic to advanced level, they can enroll. Anyone who has basic knowledge of JMeter and wants to have in-depth knowledge in JMeter can enroll, right? Anyone who wants to make career in software testing, they can enroll. Now, so this is the ESA training solution, and I think here the course is listed. This JMeter go to master course, right?
Kumar, sorry to interrupt. I have a question.
Hmm.
Kumar, see, actually, in our project, the client is using some proxies. Okay. When I'm trying to use JMeter actually works without proxy, no proxy, right? So when I'm trying to access the application, it is not capturing the events. So will you be covering all those things without proxy? How we will record the application, record in JMeter?
Some third-party tools you can utilize.
Sorry, in JMeter itself.
No, for recording and recording your flow and importing to JMeter, you can use some third-party tool.
So will you be covering that concept?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I'm joining this JMeter course because of that.
Okay.
Hi,
So
Vallabh.
I'll take your
Yeah,
question. Just let me explain. Finish
so
this stuff.
yeah.
So this is where syllabus is listed. You can have a detailed walkthrough. You can see. So that was the brief I have given. Key course highlight was a brief, right? If you want to learn in more, you can have a look on this. A very detailed each day topic is listed over here. So you can see so long course content. I'm just scrolling and so big. You can see, right? So this is what I have prepared, and each day topic, if you see, this is how day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Okay, so overall I'll just explain in each day what we'll be covering. So let us say today was basic, so day 1, right? What about performance testing. Then day 2 we'll see JMeter launching, introduction, launching, Java installation, right? Launching in GUI, non-GUI mode, how to download and launch on macOS Ubuntu. Then day 3 we'll discuss about core concept of performance testing in that HTTP protocol, about that. Okay, what is server, what is protocol, what is PTLC lifecycle, performance testing lifecycle, what is a test case, how to use browser developer tool, or what is that, what is embedded resources, get put post request. So these will be the core concept. Same day for what is hits, what is request, what is transaction, what is cookies, what is cache, user session, right? What is headers, client side, what is client side, what is server side. Then in day 5 we'll discuss application architecture, right? One tier, two tier, application layer, BL layer, ML layer, DML layer, thin client, thick client, web server, app server, right? Then we'll come to, after discussing this, we'll enter in JMeter, and we'll see about 12 major components of JMeter. Then how to do the recording and proxy setup in JMeter, understanding request, another thing. Okay. Then day 7 on certificate installation in JMeter, why to do that, and how to launch JMeter in third launching mode of JMeter. Then day 8 will be on filtering of irrelevant request and embedded resources. Okay, and how to take use of recording template, best attributes for HTTP test script recorder. So a glimpse I'm giving. I cannot read all, right? Then day 9 will be again on some best practices and how to save the recordings logs in a file, right? Then walk through with the different directories of JMeter. What are the approaches when recording will not be happening? Then day 10 on JMeter properties only. So and how to do the plugin installation, right? So every day 1.20 hour session are there, so you can see so details it going. Then we'll start end-to-end recording. Okay, end-to-end recording for two flows. One is product booking and another one will be user registration for that application, two flows. In that we'll cover the what will be the JMeter announcement with best practice, handling the dynamic values, authorization token, how to identify dynamic value, how to handle them, correlation, parameterization, use of regular expression. Okay. Then use of debug sampler, how to extract value from response header, response codes, response data. Okay, use of dummy sampler. What will be the use of cookie manager, cache manager, how HTTP protocol is stateless protocol, how to make JMeter behave as a real browser. Then use of CSV config, right? Preparing test data, use of regular expression widely, understanding its attributes of regular expression. Then use of random function, random date function. Okay, then understanding ramp up, ramp down concept, use of think time, how to create our own think time, how to customize the think time, use of pacing, error handling, how we can do using this element. Okay, then day 17 will be on um, uh, test script stabilization. Okay, and doing the final touch for that product booking scenario that we have prepared, so that we'll see. Then after that we'll do for user registration. Okay, we'll work on user registration scenario. In that we'll see again few cases, timestamp, time function, epoch time. Then in day 19, okay, we'll start some use cases on regular expression. So 2 days on regular expression only. Why we use this thing in regular expression extractor and its attribute. Some real-time use cases for extracting the dynamic values in JMeter. How to extract the values by ignoring middle values, how to escape a character, how to extract value from new line, how to extract value who has left boundary but no right boundary. So these use cases are there. Then day 20 is almost on that only. How to pick a value sequentially, use of v function, how to pick the last dynamic value. Okay, then JSON extractor, XPath extractor, boundary extractor. I will discuss about that, and then we'll start test execution with the best practices. So in that also we'll see how to increase the heap size, how much we can increase, how much how load a JMeter can generate from a single system, use of JVisual VM to find the memory consumption by JMeter, load testing in non-GUI mode, non-GUI mode, HTML report generation. Okay, then here same on HTML report generation in different ways, with different approaches, where you can see only transaction in one report, you can show only request, both transaction and request. In other, you can show the details about embedded resources. HTML report is actually a final report what we get after once we are done with the uh, uh, execution. That is the what I output once we script, and then we run the test. So after that we should get the report. So this is the final output in JMeter when we do any execution, like this reporting will come. This is a small, we will be means this is, let us say, for 3 user we ran, how the response times are come. Okay, then making some changes in HTML report, like how we can get a value in seconds, how we can get the value in 70-80 percentile, right? Some other things. Then on date 24, we'll discuss about stopping the test in non-GUI mode, use a simple data writer, what is abdex on in that HTML report, what is 90-95 percentile, why we use that. Okay, some other things, how to save the logs for failing request, or those users who are failing in a file. Then we'll start some other concept like parameterizing important parameters using few ways, 5 ways are there, and then integration with JMeter and Jenkins. Okay, and running a JMeter job in Jenkins. After that, we'll start test suite preparation using 3 way, simple way, then using uh, module controller. Okay, using module controller and using include controller and module controller and test fragment. So 4 ways how to create a test suite. Then a scope of JMeter variables, local variable, global variable, then execution. So these are the rule using which a JMeter elements run. Okay, so what are the JMeter elements? We'll see below. Then how to create our own custom template, how to take help. Then we'll see BlazeMeter, about BlazeMeter. We'll talk about pro and intro certification. Then we'll start third way of recording in JMeter. In that, using curl command, how we can record and import to JMeter or export to JMeter. Then using HAR method. Okay, using HAR method, using Fiddler, using BlazeMeter Chrome plugin, how we can do all those things using Bad Boy tool. Then we'll talk about status code or response code. Then some concept of performance testing, some definition, and then we'll start the elements, right? So you can see there are 12 major components in JMeter, and each component has some sub elements. So let us say thread group, test plan thread group. Thread group has 6 thread group. Okay. Then controllers element of JMeter. There are around 18 controllers element in JMeter. We'll all see with real-time example how they are used. Then here up to here controllers only. Then samplers, config element. Okay, there are around, so how many, 7 to 8 or 13 config elements, 13 to 14. Up to here we'll be using. Then assertion element, right? So 4 assertions are there. Then timers, 6 timers are there. 6 timers up to here, 6 timers are there. Then we have listeners. Okay, listeners are very large, but only 6 to 7 are important. Then we will discuss about pre-processor and post-processor elements. Okay, pre and post-processor element. So like that, if you see, there are around 50 to 60 elements in JMeter. Okay, so we'll discuss about that. Then we'll see use of JMeter and Perfmon, how to monitor server-side matrices. Then how to get client-side matrices in that JMeter and Selenium WebDriver integration. Then we'll see distributed testing in JMeter using load generator. Okay, that is what master slave concept. Limitation and what are the error. Okay, so one day on that. Then JMeter and DB queries testing, right? Database testing. Then FTP. Then for file upload and download for FTP server. Then file upload and download for normal HTTPS web application server. Then on day 40, 41 REST API will SOAP API. Then in 42 JMeter and InfluxDB Grafana. 43 on JMeter functions, and then we'll last start the bean cell. Okay, in last. So bean cell, you can see 5 to 6 days on bean cell only. From 44 to I think up to 48 days it will go, right? Uh, so different use cases in the bean cell: sampler, preprocessor, postprocessor, how to declare variable integers, how to print the value using log.info, use of was.get, was.put, string to integer conversion, integer to string conversion, how to write a correlated or multiple correlated value to file, test data preparation for only success transaction, string comparison. Okay, then how to write a credential for only failed or success request, how to write whole booked order to a file, addition or doing the mathematical operation, right? Storing all matches or all values stored in array in a single variable, removing or replacing character or replacing a string, trimming or starting the end specific. So these will be real time normal use cases which can we get in every day-to-day project. Then failing or passing a request, then use of bean cell assertions. Okay, saving. So again, these all the steps are there. Then passing one value from one thread group to another thread group. Then last few sessions will be again on bean cell only. So how, so looping a transaction on certain condition, then how we can book an order till a particular value is achieved in add to cart. How we can book an order till a particular value is achieved in add to cart. With each product selected should not be less than a particular transaction. Use of switch controller, right, to execute certain transaction based on certain condition. Then IP spoofing and network simulation. So it will be total 48 days session. I think 48 to 49 days session. Okay, so in these are the syllabus.
So is it Monday to Friday, right, Kumar?
6 days or 7 days, I think. So so timing will be this. Sorry, not PM, it will be AM, India time. Right. Yeah. So it can be 6 to 7 days. 6 days also, not 5 days, but at least 6 days. Right. So this is all about today demo session. Tomorrow we'll see day 2. Today was day 1. Okay. So please ask your queries.
Yeah. You mentioned some pro certification. What was that?
That is a certification provided by BlazeMeter people. So it's free of cost. So we can enroll. Pardon?
I think your voice is breaking, Apurva. So-
No, that's it. Whether we will be preparing for that certification in this this class only,
Yes, yes.
and we can appear for exam once we are comfortable with JMeter as per our convenience, right?
Right.
Okay, fine.
Kumar, can we use JMeter for testing SAP applications?
If it
Based-
is web-based, then we can do. In SAP also there are 2 or 3 kinds. So not all we can do. Only the SAP web is there that we can do.
Yes, SAP web. Okay, good.
Kumar, I was talking about the no proxy issues, right? So we have the login issues and all there. Is it you said about third-party tool, right? Is it Fiddler or something or different tool?
Yeah, Fiddler, BlazeMeter plugin, or our developer tool. Anyone you can utilize.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay, so anything else? And I have it's not like that I'm new in teaching. Do not worry. You can see I have taken batches. One October batch is this one. Then recently September batch. So many batches I have done. Around 300 plus people I think I have taught till now. Many people will be knowing me. Maybe my name Vallabh Kumar. Right. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
it.
know
So
you very
anything more?
well, Kumar. We are following your Puffmetrics blogger.
Okay. So so anything else, or we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay,
Okay,
Kumar.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay. So thank you everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.